Beauty catches attention, but intelligence holds it. Pretty fades, smart seduces. And I'm not talking about grades or diplomas. I'm talking about that quiet, magnetic kind of intelligence. The one that makes people lean in, that makes a room shift when you start speaking. You know, when someone walks in and you just feel they've lived, read, thought, prayed. That's the kind of intelligence that glows from the inside. So let's talk about it. Why intelligence is the most powerful form of allure and how to cultivate it elegantly, naturally, effortlessly. Hey, it's Clara. Welcome back to Intemporel. This space is for women who crave depth, mystery, and presence, the kind of women who want to live beautifully and think sharply. If you're new here, subscribe and come join me on Substack. This week, I'm giving away a free bonus gift, a little Intemporel starter pack for living a life that actually feels intelligent, intentional, and alive. It's free. Links below. All right, let's begin. Let's start with something honest. Intelligence turns people on, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because it's rare now. Everyone has filters and captions, but very few have thoughts. Real allure isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's how you carry silence, how you speak with clarity instead of volume, how you can have a conversation that makes people question their own perspective without trying to prove you're right. It's that vibe when someone says, she's intimidating, but I can't stop thinking about her. That's the allure of intelligence. You don't need to scream for attention when your mind already owns the room. We often think power has to look masculine, loud, fast, dominant. But real feminine intelligence is quiet strategy. It's how Cleopatra ruled an empire without an army. She studied politics, languages, psychology, and knew that influence begins in understanding. It's how Beth Harmon in The Queen's Gambit didn't just play chess. She studied human behavior across the board. Notice how still she is. Every move is calm, calculated, but never cold. That's the soft dominance of intelligence. It's also how Donna Paulson in Suits always wins the room. She knows everything, but she doesn't flaunt it. She listens first. She plays the long game. And Rory Gilmore? Her curiosity made her captivating. That hunger for books, ideas, the world. It's what made her magnetic. Intelligence is power, but when worn with grace, it becomes feminine power. Psychologists have a term for this. It's called intellectual magnetism. It's that phenomenon where people feel drawn to someone not for looks or status, but for the quality of their mind. Studies show that people who ask insightful questions and speak with nuance are perceived as more attractive, trustworthy, and emotionally stable. Because here's the truth. Intelligence feels safe. It feels grounded. It feels like presence. When your words carry substance, people listen differently. Your pauses matter. Your silence becomes a statement. That's psychology. That's charisma. You don't need to be born with a high IQ to be interesting. You just need curiosity and discipline. Intelligent women read. They read everything: philosophy, poetry, biographies, even history threads at 2 a.m. But they also think. They don't just repeat opinions, they form their own. Start by reading people who challenge you. Read Letters to a Young Poet by Rilke, or Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, or something like Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Books that rewire how you see suffering, ambition, faith. Because reading sharpens your empathy. It teaches you how to see. And remember, knowledge isn't sexy. Understanding is. There's also emotional intelligence. And that, my love, is what separates smart from wise. It's when you sense what someone's not saying. When you can read a room better than a headline. It's the way you stay calm in chaos because you understand human nature, not just your own emotions. That's what makes women like Princess Diana unforgettable. She wasn't the loudest or the most educated, but she had emotional perception so refined it moved nations. When you understand people, you don't need to control them. You lead with peace, and peace, that's rare. True intelligence isn't just mental, it's spiritual. You can have 10 degrees and still be lost, because wisdom without faith becomes arrogance. Real brilliance is when the mind and the spirit work together, when you study but also pray. When you're disciplined but still soft enough to surrender. There's a verse I love: be still and know that I am God. Stillness, that's where your ideas breathe. That's where insight comes from. That's where you stop reacting and start perceiving. Faith gives your intelligence direction. It grounds you in purpose, so your ideas don't just shine, they serve. And I'd love to know, what's one verse, quote, or a book that completely shifted your way of thinking? Drop it below. I'm literally collecting everyone's favorites. Let's talk lifestyle, because intelligence isn't just in your head, it's in your habits. An intelligent woman builds rituals that feed her mind. She wakes early, not to prove something, but to think. She walks without her phone. She listens to jazz while cooking. She has more books than shoes. She journals. And that's not cliche, it's neuroscience. Writing literally organizes your brain, reduces anxiety, and improves memory. It's not aesthetic, it's strategic. Speaking of that, if you want to start journaling in a way that actually changes your life, our private journal community just passed 200 women. It's the space where we journal, plan, and level up together. And right now, it includes my Glow Up Planner, completely free. It's honestly the most elegant thing I've ever made. I'll leave the link below, but it's limited time. All right, let's keep going. Listen, here's what no one tells you. Intelligence feels expensive. It's the energy of someone who's thought deeply, prayed quietly, and chosen peace over performance. You can literally feel when someone's mind has layers. It shows in how they move, in how they pause before speaking, in how they don't need to prove anything. You know that feeling when someone walks into a room and suddenly everything slows down? That's not status. That's awareness. Neuroscientists say that when we pause, like actually stay quiet, the brain enters a state that enhances focus, memory, and empathy. So silence isn't empty, it's intelligence resting. It reminds me of something Virginia Woolf once wrote. The mind is a room full of treasures, if only we would stay still long enough to find them. That's what elegance really is. Mental stillness that becomes emotional grace. And maybe that's why people who are truly intelligent are never loud. They think before they speak. They see before they react. And they understand before they judge. Your calm becomes your power. Because when your mind is rich, your energy feels rare. And when your soul is anchored, your presence becomes unforgettable. Looks attract, but intelligence haunts. People forget what you wore. They never forget how you made them think. In the end, it's your mind that keeps love alive, your words that inspire loyalty, and your faith that keeps you unshakable. So feed that. Feed your intellect. Feed your peace. Feed your connection with God, because that's the kind of beauty that never expires. And I want to know, which woman comes to your mind when you think of the allure of intelligence? Drop her name below. Let's make the comments section a library of iconic minds. So, to every woman listening, read more, feel deeply, think slowly, and never apologize for being the smartest woman in the room. Because your intelligence isn't intimidating, it's illuminating. It makes people better just by being around you. If you love this, subscribe. And check the links below for the private journal, your free Glow Up Planner, and the Substack bonus gift. And remember, pretty is visible, but intelligence is unforgettable. See you in the next one.